Number 9, I tell my clients this all the time. You don't have to do anything. It's so common to hear you have to do this exercise, you have to eat this food, you have to wake up at such time. You don't have to do anything. You're
Mhm,
a grown ass adult. Just
mhm.
own your life. It is your decision. Hello and welcome to the Core Podcast. We're your hosts, Aline Keller.
And Shannon Polson.
I'm a precision nutrition certified coach.
And I'm a NASM certified personal trainer for over 13 years. We support women 30 years old and over to pursue health through realistic nutrition and fitness strategies. Our main passion is to help you find that smile when you look in the mirror, find freedom when you eat, and joy when moving your body.
Make sure to subscribe for your weekly dose of doable health tips, practical advice, and so much more. It's the health education you wish you'd had.
Today, we are here with Aline, and she is going to chat about the 10 things that she wished she knew before she lost the weight. And that's crazy. 10 is a lot. When you said that, I was like, like top three, maybe five. So I'm kind of jazzed to hear about 10.
Yeah, it is. It's quite a list. Yeah, some things kind of
Yeah.
piggyback on each other, but it's quite a list. Yeah, and I'm gonna give homework right at the beginning. I would love to hear. Did you already know these things? Is there something that was surprising to you? Is there something that's an aha moment that you're like, oh, I'm trying to lose weight, or I'm in the process of losing weight and I didn't know this, and this changes the game for me. So most of what we hear in the weight loss industry, like a very high percentage of it is just junk, or it's something that's not very important. If you've heard me talk about the rocks and the pebbles and the sand and the water, a lot of what we hear and a lot of focus is given to things that aren't really massively impactful on your weight loss and your weight loss maintenance. So these are 10 things that I learned in the process of losing and maintaining weight that I really wish I had started out with this information. So the number one that I put is that there is no such thing as a quick fix. There is no shake, there is no powder, there is no pill, there is no workout, there's no food, there's no good food, no magic food, no bad food, no cleanse, no detox. There's nothing that will make this happen quicker, because the fact is that there is no finish line. Even when you get to your goal weight, you still got to do something to maintain it. There is no finish line. There are only daily wins. And this process does not happen as quickly as we would want it to. And quick fixes do not make it go any faster. Quite the contrary, usually they slow the process down. Number 2 kind of piggybacks on that, and it's that real change is hard work. This is not a sprint. So it baffles me that people are willing to spend a lot of money, they're willing to spend a lot of time trying out all the quick fixes, but the real transformation that you're looking for, it's in the work that you're not willing to do. So it really is, you have to put in the work. You have to do the daily grind. You have to pay the daily rent on your health. And it's hard work. There's no way around it. I tell my clients every single coaching call, I always promise my clients, I say, you'll get at least one laugh every call, because dieting sucks. And so let's at least enjoy our calls together, because it's hard work. It's not like all fun and rainbows. So, you got to put in the work. You need to actually do the things. Number 3 is that protein is super important and carbs are good for you. Now, this is the one thing that I go really into the food, is that protein is essential and most people aren't getting enough protein. So, just you don't have to track it, you don't have to care about the numbers, but just make an effort to have protein with every meal. That's already going to make a difference in your overall dieting experience. And the other thing is that carbs aren't the enemy. They're not bad for you. And in themselves, carbs don't make you gain weight. It's overeating that makes you gain weight. So, protein and carbs are two important things to look out. Protein, because eat it as much as you can. And carbs aren't bad. They're not the enemy, despite what the industry would like you to believe. Number 4 is that more cardio is not the fix. So cardio makes you sweat a lot. Cardio makes you feel like you did a lot of work, right? You get in a good cardio session, like you sweat a ton and you're out of breath, and like it feels like a workout. But the thing is that it's those 10 extra minutes of cardio, they don't erase all the overeating that you did the night before. Cardio does not burn as much calories as you wish it did. And a lot of people will use cardio to try to lose weight faster, but can you really sustain an hour and a half of cardio a day for the rest of your life? So maybe let's try something else. So for me, that was a big thing that, just doing cardio out of guilt doesn't really fix my issues with weight or with food. Which leads me nicely to number 5, is that weight training will not make you bulky. So I feel like I'm repeating what we say in this podcast all the time, but for some reason, women still have a hard time believing this. We think that lifting heavy things is going to make you bulky. And it's so weird because women are scared to lift heavy weights at the gym, but we will carry all our groceries into the house in one load because we don't want to go back to the car. You will carry a toddler in one arm and a basket of laundry in another, because you just have to get things done. But lifting heavy weights in the gym is going to be a problem. You are going to look in the mirror and say, oh crap, I got too bulky by accident. That's not going to happen.
Not going to. I love that analogy of the grocery bags. Who doesn't do that? I swear I'm going to make this in one trip. Let's do it.
I've got this. I
So,
can do this. But, any
oh
more
my
than
God.
10 pounds at the gym, I'm going to get too bulky. So, it's actually the opposite. It's funny because when we imagine ourselves at the weight we want, we imagine a body that has some muscle definition. I've never talked to a client that wants to lose weight that says, yeah, I just want to lose the weight, but I'm okay with being like soft and fluffy and jiggly. Everybody imagines a certain level of muscle definition. And the only way to get that is by actually lifting weights. It's by actually working the muscle. So this is something that you need to work on, this mindset first, and then just go lift heavy stuff, because I promise you, it's hard to get muscle mass. It doesn't happen as easy as we would like. So, go. And you know what? Shannon will back me up on this. If you get to a point where you say, oh no, I've gone too far, just
Come talk to me.
come talk to us. We
I
want to know
want to hear about that problem. I love that. No, it's will take a lot. And that's the thing too, is like we always talk about consistency. Like consistency is key. There is no finish line. You have to keep going. Yet people are nervous that they're going to get too bulky. It's like, let's just focus on the boulder of let's keep going. Let's be
Yep.
consistent before we even worry about bulking up too much. And one thing that I heard, this was probably 15 years ago now, when it comes to women in strength training, like strength train not only to look good in your clothes, but strength train to look good naked. I
Yes.
mean, those women out there that are doing cardio for 3 hours a day, like, okay, but how do you look in front of the mirror when you're naked? I mean, I bet you look fabulous. We all look fabulous, but that slight muscle definition really can go a long way. And it helps your posture. It helps you present yourself more stronger
Yeah.
and confident when you walk into the room. So I loved that saying. It stuck with me the last
And
how
not
many
to
years?
mention that, for women, there are so many other benefits to weight training. If nothing else, train for your 60-year-old body, your 70-year-old body, so that you don't fall as much, you have stronger bones, you actually have some muscle mass, right? But it's just, that was something that in the beginning, I feel like a lot of people, when they're trying to lose weight, they want to do a lot of the cardio and they're scared of doing the weightlifting. And, I wish I had known all those years ago that I should have focused more on the lifting heavy things and
Oh
done
yeah.
less of the cardio. Cardio is important. I'm not saying you shouldn't do cardio, but it's just the balance of it. Now,
Yep.
number 6 goes straight into food again, which is that food is not something to be afraid of. And it's what makes the biggest difference in your health. So food is a lot of things. Food is medicine, food is social, food is fun, food is emotional. But fundamentally, food dictates how your body performs. So your body reflects what you put into it and what you do with it. So we shouldn't be afraid of any foods. We talk a lot about freedom here. I am very big on, you can reach your goals eating any kinds of foods. There's no bad foods. At the same time, food has different profiles. So, you don't have to be a nutritionist to know that a bag of chips and an apple don't have the same nutritional profile. So, can both fit in a healthy diet? Yes. But food is fundamentally what will make the biggest difference in your weight loss journey and in your maintenance. Number 7 that I wish I knew is that there is no one size fits all. It's your life, it's your responsibility. So even though it's tempting to see transformation pictures and diet lists and all the quick fixes and magic solutions, and you think like this is the absolute truth, this is how things should be done, there is no such thing. It's really narrow-minded to think that there's only one right way to eat. Like we've been talking in the training systems episodes, there isn't only one way to train. There's also not only one way to eat. So you have to figure out what works in your life, what works for your values, for your lifestyle, for your goals. You have to figure that out. There isn't one single answer. Number 8, this is one that I really, really love, and it really did take me a while to understand, is that 2 things are true. I can love who I am, and I can love my body right now, and at the same time, I can still want to change. So one thing does not negate the other. So self-love, self-respect, self-care, self-acceptance, all of this is essential. And you don't have to have that at the expense of change or improvement. So yes, I can love my body completely right now and still want more muscle definition. I can love my body completely right now and still want better cardiovascular health. I can love my body right now and still want to add on a few pounds. I can love my body right now and still want to lose a few pounds. So these things, it's not one or the other, right? That's what I'm saying. The 2 things are true. You can have both. And it's important to love yourself and accept yourself where you are now. But growth and change, that's part of the human experience. If we can't grow, if we can't strive for something, if we don't want something else, where are we going? Like, what's the point? So I think the same is in our health and with our bodies for good reasons, just it's okay to love yourself and to want to change. And when it comes to eating and weightlifting, a lot of times we start for the vanity of it. Oh, I want to be thinner, or I want to have more muscle. Start for the vanity of it. That's okay. That's a legitimate reason to start improving your health. But hopefully you will find that you're in it just because it makes you a better human when you're taking care of yourself, not being at a certain size, not being a certain weight. When you're taking care of yourself, it makes you a better person. You face challenges differently, you deal with things differently. So You know, this is a really, really big one for me. You can and you should learn to love yourself where you're at right now, but that doesn't mean that you can't change. Number 9, I tell my clients this all the time, you don't have to do anything. It's so common to hear, you have to do this exercise, you have to eat this food, you have to wake up at such time. You don't have to do anything. You're
Mhm.
a grown-ass adult. Just
Mhm.
own your life. It is your decision. And owning this literally changes the game. When you reframe, when you get rid of the have to, it really changes things, because you're not a child that somebody is making you eat something or go to bed at a certain time or do your homework. No, this is a decision that you're making as an adult. And when you start owning these decisions, your attitude in doing things and making choices is very, very different. Because again, you don't have to. You get to, you can, maybe you even should. You don't have to.
Right.
And then number 10. Number 10 is that it all starts in your head. We think that weight loss and weight maintenance and exercise, that it starts on your plate in the kitchen at the gym. It really, really doesn't. It all starts in your mind. And this isn't like a woo and, let's visualize or whatever the words are for that. No, this is watch your thoughts, because you are the most influential person in your life. What you tell yourself matters. So if you don't believe that you can do this, if you tell yourself that you're a failure, if you tell yourself that you'll never like these foods, if you tell yourself that, the weights are too heavy, that you can't lift, that you can't do it, that you'll never reach it, that you'll never get there, how you talk to yourself really dictates how you're going to act, because it starts in your head and what you tell yourself that you actually can or can't do. And that really dictates your actions. And I have a bonus.
Ooh, and number 11.
Number 11. Number 11 came much later in the game, and that's why it's a bonus for me, is that it was the discovery that being ripped, being jacked is not all it's cut out to be. That having a 6-pack, that having super perky glutes, that having arms that don't jiggle, that is not going to fix what lives inside your head and inside your heart. And it's an exceptional amount of work to keep yourself looking that way. And most people don't. When you see fitness models, when you see competitors, when you see bodybuilders, this is a very small snippet of their life. And many of these, thankfully, many people in this industry are speaking up to that and saying, this is unhealthy for women. It's losing their periods. It's hair falling off. It's hormones out of whack. Like, it's things just going crazy. And they don't live like that day in, day out, because it's a very, very big sacrifice. Most people don't understand the power of lighting and Photoshop and filters. So,
Mhm.
being jacked is not all it's cut out to be. You can be very, very healthy, and you can look really good and still enjoy a very flexible life without having to look like a bikini model. Those are my 11.
I love number 11. And well, Aline, I love them all. I mean, I would go back and listen to this episode multiple times with those 10 points that you made. Just absolutely amazing. And I love to just really recognizing and reminding people how much of this is like an emotional and mental game as well.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you can have the arms that don't flab when you wave and a stomach that doesn't roll over your jeans when you sit, but what's still going on in your mind and how attainable is that for you in the lifestyle? It just all makes perfect sense.
Well, and you know what? Listen to it as many times as you need, all of you that are listening,
Please. I
because
love
it's a
it.
process, right? And we say like 10 things I wish I knew. I'm not saying that all of these are completely ingrained and I do them perfectly. These are things that I've learned, and I'm working on several of them still, but it would have been a game changer to actually understand all of these sooner in the journey.
I
And
wish that,
yeah,
oh, sorry. I was going to say, I wish that these were brought up like earlier in life, like teenage years,
yeah,
especially with like number 10 was a big one. Even, knowing that some of this is you have that pre-contemplation phase before you even take that action phase.
yeah.
Um, yeah, and just having a good relationship in your mind first.
And figuring out, right? I love the quote by Dolly Parton. She says, figure out who you want to be and do it on purpose. And with
Yes.
our health, that's a big one. Like, what is it that you really want? Not what everybody says that you're supposed to look like or be, or, how you're supposed to train or eat. What is it that you ultimately want? Okay, how can I do this on purpose? How can I actually do this intentionally? And that makes a huge difference. And for next week, Shannon's going to tell you what she's going to talk about.
Yeah, so I wanted to, it's kind of funny too that you mentioned these 10 things. A few I will touch base on much more lightly than Aline did today, but I conducted a podcast episode designed specifically for women that are just beginning an exercise routine. Like you're past the contemplation phase, you're now in the action phase, and you know that you want to maintain this lifestyle. This is it. So I have 4 different sections that we'll go over. Each section has a few bullet points to keep in mind. And then I'll also have a list for you that you can link up to at the end of that episode. Just to kind of cover your bases, just something to keep in mind as you think about and create your own exercise routine.
It's going to be amazing. So don't miss it. And we'll see you then.